Welcome back to Discourse number 2. You create your reality, the manifestation of thought. This is session number 11. We're continuing on in regards to the time spiral. When the vibrational frequencies on the time spiral descend in speed and tone, a crystallization or condensation of thought or light occurs. The thought in effect encapsulates or freezes the unlimited consciousness into a limited or finite mind that is the ego. When the material physical world of sensory perceptions arises from this lowered state of vibrational frequencies, the human entity becomes entranced by a world of objects and other people. The Christ consciousness mind is virtually firewalled off from accessing the human entity who is entranced by its projections. Earlier in this discourse, it was stated that the physical expression of the human entity is encased within a field of two spinning bands of energy that create a vortex or feedback loop between the infinite and the finite, the eternal and the mortal, or spirit and matter. The binary code of the ego body mind consciousness spins in a counterclockwise direction, and the Christ consciousness is the spin in a clockwise direction. It is from this motion in opposition that electricity and magnetism arise and create a dynamic force that propels creation in the matrix. Electricity is an intention to unite or integrate, which acts as a gravitational pull towards its opposite expression. This is felt as desire and the generative element to manifest forms. Magnetism is the expression of radiation, or the opposite desire to disintegrate and dissolve forms. When spinning in unison, they encase the physical expression of the human form in a garment or mould. This mould, in ancient scripts and texts, was called the Orphic egg. The word or, as it appears in Orphic, is connected with generation or beginning, as it appears as creator, origin, and word itself. The secret doctrine again provides an excellent insight in regards to the symbolism of the egg that frequents spiritual texts. Whence this universal symbol? The egg was incorporated as a sacred sign in the cosmogony of every people on the earth and was revered both on account of its form and of its inner mystery. From the earliest mental conceptions of man, it has been known that which represented most successfully the origin and secret of being. The gradual development of the imperceptible germ within the closed shell, the inward working without any apparent outward interference of force, which from a latent nothing produced an active something, needing naught save heat, and which, having gradually evolved into a concrete living creature, broke its shell, appearing to the outward senses of all as a self-generated and self-created being. All this must have been a standing miracle from the beginning. One of the most significant features of this vortex of spin that encases the physical form or orbic egg is that of frequency and sound. Each manifestation into physical form, consisting of 7 bands or dimensions of frequency, can also be known as octaves. Octave pertains to the number 8 and is the primary frequency or sound from which the other 7 emanate. This is the highest frequency that is called Om by the Hindus. Your physical experience in human form, then, has not just a specific vibrational frequency and colour, but a distinct sound or harmonic. The word human can now be interpreted as arising from hue, with 2 definitions, the first meaning colour, and the second a shouting outcry or noise. The physical expression of a human form is therefore a specific resonance or harmonic contained within a multi-dimensional universe that has 7 other levels of sound, frequency, and vibration that you are attuned to. The human is the lowest or base frequency of experience. The human entity with an ego body-mind consciousness is created for the experience of disunity and separation. The word separation means to pull apart and derives from the root word sever. The foundation of these words belongs to the Latin word se, meaning apart, aside, on one's own. Hence, se not only underlies the word separation, but also the number and word 7. The time spiral expresses this stepping down of harmonic frequency through 7 levels of consciousness to experience the illusion of separation in physical form. The 7 chakras or seals direct this process of the descent of consciousness and its return as ascension or resurrection to Christ consciousness. A human form must be elevated harmonically through 7 octaves during the spiritual journey of return to your true self. Again, the secret doctrine refers. The said key must be turned 7 times before the whole system is divulged. We will give it but one turn and thereby allow the profane one glimpse into the mystery. Happy he who understands the whole. Remember that the word idea originates from the root word idean, meaning to see, and also weed, to see. What you as a human entity are able to perceive or see as manifested thought is dependent upon the vibrational frequency that you are attuned or resonant with. Hence, the levels of consciousness govern your experience of personal reality. Spiritual author Joseph Brenner, in his book, The Way to the Kingdom, writes, "Boundless being, the supreme, the 7 creative logoi, the solar gods, the logos, these are different states of consciousness, one consciousness being in them all, but perceived in varying degree according to the plane of manifestation. The consciousness is the string upon which all beads of being are strung. It is a rosary of realization." The book of Genesis is a symbolic revelation again to the process of 7 being the stepping down of vibrational frequencies to manifest man in human form. Creation was completed in 7 days, with each preceding day being a division of light from darkness, heaven from earth, and man from the plants and animal kingdom. Man was created on the 6th day, as he was enabled with the consciousness and sensory apparatus to perceive and experience the creations. If you have fully grasped the truth that is being revealed here, then you will understand primal reality as an act of creative ideation is the manifestation of thought. Every image that you perceive in your personal reality is a symbol of a thought being manifested or becoming known. What you see is a symbol of a thought that has originated in your unseen, unconscious mind. The 3D plane of demonstration, that is your physical reality experience on the visible light spectrum, is constructed in such a way that allows for the manifestation of thought. This truth is revealed within the etymology definition of the word manifestation itself. Action of disclosing what is secret, obscure, or unseen. Demonstration. This power of thought to create has been known by every sage, mystic, and spiritual master that has ever lived. It is the very secret that was hidden within alchemical practices, allegory, parable, and the secret mystery schools that banished this knowledge from the profane. As we enter the age of Aquarius, this is the secret knowledge that is being now made available to everyone. Alice Bailey, a channel and scribe for the New Age movement, wrote numerous books as an act of such revelation. In her book, The Treatise of White Magic, she states, "It must be remembered that every human thought, whether the potent mass thoughts or individual dynamic ideas, must eventually emerge objectively on the physical plane. This is an inevitable and unalterable rule, and due consideration of this law which governs mental substance will show the danger of wrong thought and the power of right. The potency of human thought at this time is primarily of mass description, for few there are who can think creatively. Jesus the Christ was another spiritual master who came to demonstrate and teach the secret mysteries to those who could hear the truth. As he lived in a time that such truth was threatening to the Christian beliefs of the day, he chose to speak only in parable. This is confirmed with the following statement from the Bible. And the disciples came and said unto him, Why speakest thou unto them in parables? He answered and said unto them, Because it is given unto you to know the mysteries of the kingdom of heaven, but to them it is not given. For whosoever have, to him shall be given, and he shall have more abundance. But whosoever have not, from him shall be taken away even that he have. Therefore speak I to them in parables, because they seeing see not, and hearing they hear not, neither do they understand. The teachings of Jesus contained within the Course in Miracles that has been continuously referenced in this material was another format that this power of thought to create was given explanation. The term miracle was another name given to mean thought. Miracles are thoughts. Thoughts can represent the lower or bodily level of experience, or the higher or spiritual level of experience. One makes the physical and the other creates the spiritual. A crucial aspect of understanding conveyed within A Course in Miracles is that ideas, being the foundation of creation, do not leave the mind that creates them. To create is to bring into existence or bring into being. So just as all that is, or God, as the creator of the thought that brought life into existence, so too created you with the same ability to manifest an idea. As you remain in the supreme mind of the Absolute, so too do your ideas and thought forms remain in your own mind. Hence, as stated previously, you are doing this unto yourself. Ideas leave not their source and their effects, but seem to be apart from them. Ideas are of the mind. What is projected out and seems to be external to the mind is not outside at all, but an effect of what is in and has not left its source. Bulgarian philosopher Omran Mikhail Ivanov is just one of many spiritual authors who attempted to share this knowledge that thoughts create. In his book, The Power of Thought, he writes, Thought is a force, a power, an instrument given to man by God, so that he, too, may be a creator in the same way that God is a creator, in beauty and perfection. And each one of us also is a thought. The entire universe is peopled with God's thoughts. God thinks, and the visible and invisible creatures that exist are all his thoughts. You could say, in fact, that only God thinks, and that we think only to the extent to which we are capable of approaching God and identifying with his spirit. Before proceeding further, it is important to firmly embed this idea that thoughts create. It may be insufficient to leave such a profound statement only to spiritual scripts and declarations shared by the masters of wisdom. In Western culture, science is given the burden of proof to investigate the nature of what is real, and then society is told this is the paradigm and dogma to follow. So does science agree with what is being stated here? Yes, it does. It is the science of quantum physics that reveals the hidden nature of reality that has been discussed at length here. Quantum physics and the observer. Prior to 1900, the science of understanding the nature of reality was based on classical or Newtonian physics, which relied on the mathematical equations and theories revealed by Isaac Newton. This is the science of the macrocosm, or the large physical expressions in the universe. It was German theoretical physicist Max Planck who became the father of quantum physics that studied the microcosm, or the subatomic world of atomic processes. In 1918, he was awarded the Nobel Prize in Physics for his discovery of energy quanta. The Planck constant became the standard measurement of light and matter, of which all equations within quantum physics are based on. The Planck scale was the primary universal unit of this measurement that still exists today as the smallest amount or quanta of energy that can be measured. As stated previously, mathematics is the language of the cosmos and the architecture from which the matrix is constructed. In quantum physics, light is called a photon. A photon has no mass and carries no electromagnetic charge. When travelling at the speed of light through the medium of space, it acts as a vibrational wave with frequency, amplitude, and wavelengths. Electrons have both mass and charge, positive and negative, and the flow of electrons is called electricity. As electrons have mass, it is also called a particle. A particle can be measured as occupying a specific location with volume and physical dimensions. They are considered primary to our experience of matter. In 1924, French physicist Louis-Victor de Broglie published a thesis that a proton, which has no mass, behaves as a particle, and an electron, as a particle with mass, behaves as a wave. This paradox was inexplicable and confusing to physicists and was termed the wave-particle duality. This theory states that waves, as well as particles, exhibit a dual nature. They sometimes behave as matter, particles, and sometimes as waves. This quantum field where the wave-particle duality resides is the non-local or implicate order that has been discussed earlier. This non-material realm of wave-particle duality also has another significant feature that is referred to as the uncertainty principle. This principle states that you cannot measure both the position and momentum, velocity, of a quantum object with exact precision. The more that a measurement is made of one, the less is known about the other. Exact measurements are impossible, as the actual act of measuring has an effect on the behavior being observed. When examining this non-local, non-material realm of wave-particle duality, nothing exists with certainty. It is prior to existence. Hence, it can only be referred to as a potential or probability. The term superposition is given to this state of uncertainty. It is only when a wave has collapsed into a particle state that the exact position and measurement can be known. Fritjof Capra, as a physicist with unique insights into Eastern spiritual philosophy, in his book The Tao of Physics, summarizes this understanding. Subatomic particles do not exist with certainty at definite places, but rather show tendencies to exist, and atomic events do not occur with certainty at definite times and in definite ways, but rather show tendencies to occur. It is not possible, for example, to say with certainty where an electron will be in an atom at a certain time. Its position depends upon the attractive force binding it to the atomic nucleus and the influence on the other electrons in the atom. These conditions determine a probability pattern, which represents the electron's tendencies to be in various regions of the atom. Another significant feature of quantum physics, which requires mentioning at this point, is known as the observer effect. One of the most significant experiments conducted by science is known as the double-slit experiment, which was paramount in revealing not only the wave-particle duality mentioned, but also the observer effect. There are numerous videos of this experiment available on YouTube and the internet and are well worth viewing. This experiment revealed that the collapse from the superposition, the state of uncertainty, was dependent on measurement or observation being made. If no such measurement was made, then the wave remains as a probability only. A particle only comes into existence when an observer interacts with the wave function by focusing or choosing what to measure or look for. The intention of the observer or experimenter has a direct impact and effect on the outcome that is recorded. The observer cannot be separated from the object or particle, as the object is being created by the act of observation. It is the measurement or focus of observation that has created the particle or something to see. American theoretical physicist John A. Wheeler explains this implicit interdependence between the observer and the observed. Nothing is more important about the quantum principle than this, that it destroys the concept of the world as sitting out there, with the observer safely separated by a 20-centimetre slab of plate glass. Even to observe so minuscule an object as an electron, he must shatter the glass. He must reach in. He must install his chosen measuring equipment to measure. It is up to him to decide whether he shall measure position or momentum. To install the equipment to measure one prevents and excludes his installing the equipment to measure the other. Moreover, the measurement changes the state of the electron. The universe will never afterwards be the same. To describe what has happened, one has to cross out the old word observer and put in its place the new word participator. In some strange sense, the universe is a participatory universe. Remember that the non-local implicate order of the quantum field is one of photons or waves of probabilities. Photons do not have polarity or a charge of positive or negative. When the wave collapses through the act of intention, measurement, or observation to create a particle in the physical material realm, only then does it have polarity. It is this polarization of particles into atoms, seeking balance of their positive and negative polarities, that create all of the chemicals appearing on the periodic table of elements that are the foundation of the ego personality and the matrix you know as life. The particle appearing in the physical realm of manifestation, which carries polarization, is now subject to the limitations of time and space. This is the world of effects. To recall, consciousness was earlier defined as the pure mind, pure being in awareness or knowing. The ego-body-mind consciousness was the limitation of the pure mind to experience disunity or separation, the state of not knowing. This is the finite mind subject to duality. Consciousness pervades all. There is only one substance or one mind. Whether the expression in wave form or as a limitation in the form of a particle, everything still remains consciousness. Consciousness is the primal reality behind all of existence, and the science of quantum physics also acknowledges this fact. Hence it can be declared whether in spiritual truth or in scientific knowledge. 1. All matter, things, is made of energy, E equals mc squared. 2. Energy is information. 3. All energetic substances are made of consciousness. 4. Consciousness is aware or knowing. 5. All energy is consciousness, one substance. 6. Consciousness and energy create the nature of reality. So what is the observer or participator collapsing the wave of potentials into expressions as particles? Consciousness, because there is only one substance that pervades all. Regardless of whether it is a scientist, an instrument of measurement, or an intention, consciousness is choosing. From this perspective, the universe is self-aware. A creator and the created are one and the same. Consciousness as pure mind remains self-aware and all-knowing as the creator. The particle, when collapsed into time and space, becomes a limitation of the pure mind, and hence is a limit of all knowingness. The creator knows. The created is the state of forgetfulness, or the aspect that does not know. An aspect of one must forget in order for existence or creation to be experienced. One of the most significant discoveries by Max Planck was the revelation that the waves of photons or energy in the quantum field was not continuous as previously thought. Instead, he discovered that energy was limited or quantized as packets or bits. Hence, his mathematical equations identified that bit as 6.62607015 times 10 to the minus 34 joule seconds, which became known as the Planck constant, or H. Planck used the term quanta, meaning what size, what amount, how much, to refer to this measurement of bits of energy. The word energy derives its meaning from the Greek word energeia, meaning activity, action, operation. Energy and information are synonymous. All energy carries information. The term bit can now be considered as an expression of a limited packet of information. This is exactly the same as a computer processor that uses the bit symbolized as 1 in its binary code of 1 and 0 to compute or process information. In the previous discourse, the ego personality, the definition of mind was provided by Dr. Daniel Siegel as being: the mind is an embodied and rational process that regulates the flow of information and energy. Consciousness can now be considered as the pure mind which processes this flow of information and energy. When consciousness limits this mind into an aspect referred to as ego-body-mind consciousness, then information and energy are now limited, which is the Planck constant of H, or the bit as 1. This bit of information that is being discussed here is known in mathematics as the monad, or an arithmetical unit. The term derives its meaning from the Greek word mono, meaning single, alone. The spiritual texts again find agreement with science, as the term monad was also given to the individualized units of consciousness expressing as man. The symbol for the monad will look familiar. It was mathematician and philosopher Pythagoras whom identified the monad as significant in both maths and philosophy within the study of the universe as the foundational unit of creation for both. His teachings were fundamental in the philosophies of Socrates, Plato, and Aristotle. He symbolized the monad as the creative element with the image of the tectactress. The tectactress symbolized the geometric, arithmetic, and musical ratios that are the foundation on which the entire universe is built. The monad, then, whether referenced in science, math, or spirituality, can be considered as the particle of quantum physics, the first division or unit of 1 from the 0 point or source of all that is. The word monad, as defined earlier, originating from mono or monos, meaning alone, arises from the root word men, meaning to think, with derivatives referring to qualities and states of mind or thought. Hence the word mental originates from men. Man thus becomes a thought that stands alone. Let's now define the word information, as energy and information are synonymous. Information means outline, concept, idea, stemming from informare, to train, instruct, educate, shape, give form to. Idea, as already defined previously, is archetype, concept of a thing in the mind of God. Form is defined as an outline, a model, pattern, design. Form can be associated with the Greek word morph, which is to take form or shape as outward appearance. When morph is combined with the word genesis, meaning birth, origin, creation, then the word morphogenesis arises. It is this word that combines everything that this discourse has been leading to. The act of creation by all that is the creative ideation of the original thought, I am separate. The human is the birth of this idea into form on the 3D plane of demonstration, where the manifestation of what is secret or hidden is revealed as an image, an outward projection of an inward condition, a thought made known. This concludes session 11 of Discourse number 2, You Create Your Reality, the Manifestation of Thought. I invite you to attend session number 12. I shall put a link in the description box below, and I look forward to seeing you there. Thank you so much for your attendance at this session. So be it.